Preparation, a good a block for us to build on. And basically, what we're going to be talking about today, family, is going to be talking about an era, and events that happened in the past that a lot of our people praise. And we're going to look at them real close, and we're going to see if these were righteous events, and are they worthy of praise, because we brought them into society and taught things that really don't line up with the book of Yah. And the things are so normal, we don't see nothing wrong with it. So we're going to go over some things. I want y'all to ask yourself questions, basically, is this normal to me? Am I going to say this is righteous, or am I going to say that this is wicked? Is this normal to me? Because a lot of things that we do, we subconsciously just go through it without even thinking about, hold on, man, this is wicked in the eyes of the Most High Yah. So I just want to go over a couple of things. It's also going to establish the difference between a righteous government and also a wicked government. So we're going to start off. It's going to be a lot of talking in this too. Little less scriptures and more talking, because this is just a foundation being laid tonight, again, for preparation of tomorrow. And I'm going to talk about a few cities that we had in the past here in America where black people thrive and they did well in. We're going to look at some of the things that they did, and just see how they lived at that time. Because it's a lot of stuff that's been brought up to where it's taught to us to make us hate. It's taught to make us hate each other and separate. Oh man, us against the white man, us against this, us I think against it's on, that. Bro.
Can y'all hear me better now? All right, sorry, family. I hope y'all heard everything I said. I already got the cry loud and spare not voice, so hopefully y'all heard me. But again, tonight's lesson, just to go over it in case y'all didn't, we're going to be discussing some events that happened in the past, looking at cities that thrived, that were full of black people, seeing how they lived, and see if they was deemed righteous by the Most High's eyes or not, if it was wicked. So I want y'all to ask questions to yourself. Is this normal to me? Because we raised in a society to where wickedness is so normal that it just seemed like an everyday operation, and it's not foreign, which it should be to us. So I want y'all to just go through this with me. It's not going to be a lot of scripture. It's not scripture heavy, but we're going to read some facts about the cities that thrived back in the past with our brothers and sisters here in America. And this is a lesson for preparation of tomorrow, where we're going to be basically discussing the Most High's government and how he sees fit for it to be ran on the earth versus how things are being ran today, because it's a lot of separation being put in place. Well, we be taught when we talk about these cities, the white man burnt it down because they was jealous and all that. True enough, indeed, they burnt it down. But is that the truth? Did that judgment come from the Most High, or it is just luck or fate? So we're going to look at these things real closely to see how people operate, because a lot of scriptures throughout the book already talked about how we are when we wax fat. We lead the Most High once we start being prosperous. Right. So basically, we're going to be discussing one of the cities is Black Wall Street. They just had a celebration for it this year where all the people went out to Black Wall Street, which is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was a city where we thrived as a black people, right? We're Financially, the money stayed circulating within our community a whole lot before the dollar ever left. So we thrived at that time, right? We was real prosperous, where some people were real prosperous. But we're going to go through this because I've been doing digging and researching, because I used to praise this city as well. And I would say when I was small, I'm going to create another Black Wall Street when I grow up, But we're going to look into these things, and we're going to see how these people were living, and see again if they were righteous in the Most High's eyes. Because I even hear brothers in the so-called truth saying, these are real men. They were real men, and this and that. So we're going to look at their ways and compare it to the Most High's ways, because his ways is the only ways that are right. So basically, Wall Street, it was a city in the era that, again, was praised by our community. Many praise Wall Street, but have limited knowledge about the true Black Wall Street history. They just see the surface level history, but they don't know too much about going in depth. So the so-called glorious things that are praised about it will be the financial side, of course, is seeing people thrive, our people. And it started to thrive in the early 1900s when they found oil there. And the real name of it is Greenwood Avenue. And it was a 35-block radius where black businesses boomed due to the dollar circulating so many times. And the rulers there were black capitalists. It was 21 churches. And the question that I would ask is, were they teaching the true ways of Yah, or did they establish their own government? And did they establish their government off of the principles of Yah? Because they established in a city, of course you need rules, guidelines, regulation, and laws, right? So what better to establish these things off of than the Bible and the principles, right? So it says there were 6 private planes that they even owned in this one city. Just this one city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, it was so much wealth there that it was 6 private planes. Keyword private planes, not public, right? And you'll hear people brag about that a lot. Hey, they'll tell you, man, we had our own airports and this and that, but they never do enough research to find out, hey, these was private planes. This wasn't for the public, but these planes were for the rich and the elite that lived there, right? So it says Black Wall Street is where also slaves were put in place as well, right? They didn't have shackles on their hands and their feet like our ancestors before them, but they were basically slaves. By 1920, it was 75,000 residences, and they had the bank deposits totaling $65 million. Now, that's a lot of money for back in them days. $65 million just out of 75,000 people. And this is a place where the free slaves went and gathered, right? Because they heard a lot of good things. Let's go to Tulsa. Let's go to Tulsa. Let's go there. They prospering. We prospering there, right? They developed their own business district. Now, the Bible itself, it puts politics and faith together. A lot of ministers don't speak on the political side of the Bible, right? But the Bible talk about politics so much in there, because what rules our world right now? Religion and politics, right? So the Bible put those two together, but we've been taught to separate those things. And now we go as far as separating school and faith. Oh, no, we don't do no more praying here. We pledge our allegiance to where? To the flag of the United States of America, right? Who have the United Snakes of America, who have wicked ways and ideas and ideologies, right? So there was 2 high schools there that they had, and I asked this question as well. What were they teaching? Because, see, indoctrination starts with your education and your schooling as a youth, right? That's why even now in schools, what are they pushing? A lot of homosexuality. They got transgender people and going to schools to talk to your little kid to tell them, hey, boy, girl, you can be whatever you want to be. You don't have to be a he or a she, right? And these are things that's happening in our schooling. So indoctrination starts while we're young, right? Again, what were they teaching them? Was it to become more capitalist in the next generation, or was it the ways of Yah? Let's go to Proverbs 22:6. Because it's important that we follow the ways of Yah and not the world, because things become so common. That's why homosexuality is so common, and we don't see it in the light that we should, because it's so common now. Our cousins, our aunties, our sons, our daughters, our mamas and daddies, everybody be gay. Mama, daddy, how you gonna be gay after you had me? Right. That don't even make sense. Well, I'm glad you did wait till afterwards, because I wouldn't be here.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, Proverbs 22:6. When you get there, read it.
Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Right. This is what the Most High Yah told us to do. Train our children up right while they're young, right? Mm-hmm. And they won't depart from it, right, when they get older. Deuteronomy chapter 6. And we're going to read verses 4 through 7. Because this is what the Most High told us to do with our children, you know. Go ahead.
Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim is one Elohim, and thou shalt love Yahuwah thy Elohim with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might.
Sound like good advice to me. Keep going.
And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
So he telling us that this is the way we supposed to teach our children, right? A lot of times now we letting the schools raise our children.
Right.
So they come home with and then if you try, if you ain't trying hard enough, you'll teach them one way, they gonna come back with a whole nother. Yeah. You know, Timmy did this. I don't care what Timmy did. This is the way that I'm raising you, because I'm gonna go by the guidelines of what the Father taught me, right? So in the school in them days, they weren't teaching the ways of Yah, right? And just like they not now. And the thing I want y'all to focus on as well is look at the times of Black Wall Street, Birmingham, Alabama, Harlem, in New York, Durham, North Carolina. These are some major cities that thrive with black people, right?
Right.
But did they walk in the ways of Yah? Why did they fall? Because if you with the Most High, He promised you He gonna be your shield and your buckler. He gonna be your fortress. He gonna be your provider, your protection. Right. So why did they fall if they were so quote unquote great? Why are we looking up and praising these cities, right? It's cool they got good financial gain, but what did they do with their finances? Was it still oppression? Was it still poverty? What about their brothers what about Texas, the last state to be freed? What did they do? Did they use these planes to go fly and to pick up their brethren and say, come on, come back here. I'm going to provide you with shelter as the Father told me to do, because He told me to love thy neighbor as myself, like I would love myself. And I love myself enough to do this, so I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to put my neck out there, right? What did Yeshua do for us? He gave His life, right, and became the greatest example, right? Mm-hmm. Now, another thing that they also had was drugstores. Well, I ask you, Brother Nehemiah, what's wrong with having drugstores? People are sick. Because now we're moving on the ways of what we've been taught on the other nation. Because the Father told you to let your food be thy medicine, right? He gave us healing through all the herbs, fruits, and vegetables that's on this earth, right? Yes. And it's funny because, see, since I'm adopted, my mama up there in age. You know, she in her 90s. But she had a remedy for everything. One of them was vinegar. I mean, if you get shot in the head, she going to say, put some vinegar on it. You know, she always got her own remedy. If the baby had a rash, go burn some flour. Not go to the store and buy this and put it on your baby. You know, and I had to do that last week with my baby. And the creams we buying wasn't doing nothing for my baby. But when we put that flour on her, one day, you see what I'm saying? So our ancestors knew more about healing, right? But now I ask again, what's wrong with drugstores, Brother Nehemiah? We got to look up, we got to learn what etymology is and learn the weird words that's in this Bible, right? Because it is written in English, for us nowadays, but it was originally written in Hebrew and Greek. So we got to go back and look at the definitions and the real meaning of these words and not just take them on from what our understanding is today, right? Because you could talk about somebody playing basketball, Dr. J, that's a bad brother. And somebody back in the day. He's bad, stay away from him. But we just saying he was a good player in basketball under the way we using bad in today's terms, right?
Right.
So they had drugstores. When you look up the word sorcery, in the Bible, it breaks down in the Greek as pharmakia, which is pharmacy in the English vernacular.
Right.
So sorcery was your pharmacy. When you look at Walgreens, what's the logo? It got the witch's brew. It got the cup with the thing in there that witches use to mix up their potions and stuff.
Right.
See, these are subtle things because Hashatan is the most subtle creature on this earth. And we gotta learn to use our spiritual eyes and wake up, and not just to be not just to be existing in this world, but to start living. And how do we live? Through the knowledge and wisdom of the Most High, right? We don't want to be people who just get up, go to work, do this normal routine. We want to always keep that spirit and that ruach or the spirit within us, right?
Right.
So Galatians chapter 5. Let's look at this, family. Because we get caught up in daily routine. Instead of really examining ourselves each and every day and making sure we stand in line with the Most High. Because this is normal now. Oh, you sick, go to the store and buy this. And we think it's small, but them things is healing you temporarily. It's killing you in the long run.
Right.
And then we wonder why when we get up in age, we getting cancers and diseases, our hearts is failing, our livers, our kidneys, because we being damaged when God said, let thy food be thy medicine, right?
That's right.
Galatians chapter 5 and verse 19. Go ahead, brother. And we're going to read through verse 20.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness.
Now look at what this is being mentioned with: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness. Keep reading.
Idolatry, witchcraft.
Witchcraft. Now that's our focal point. Witchcraft, brother, right?
Yeah.
So let's read that, because in the Greek, that word is pharmakia. And read the definitions for me.
The use or the administering of drugs.
Of drugs. The use and administering of drugs. Man, we got people in the streets right now, brothers going to jail for selling drugs, right? They legal over the counter, but when you get it, my brother, and you trying to make a come up and get out the hood, they illegal now. Right? Now, these are drugs that's being administered. You got drugs like Xanax that you see our people in the hood are zombies. They popping, they call them faux bars. They zombies, man. They pop them pills and then they walk around just half up, right? I know a brother who crashed like 8 cars. He went through 8 cars from popping these pills. Every time he get a car, he popped this pill, he crashing, right? Now read the other example. Poisoning, right? Go ahead.
Sorcery, magical arts,
right?
Often found in connection with idolatry and fostered by it. Metaphorically, the deceptions and seductions of idolatry. Right.
Now, when you taking these drugs, a lot of these over-the-counter drugs, your mind ain't going to be the same. You become a robot. Even when you get what they always hit our little kids with. Oh, they got ADHD, ADD, right? Because they active. The normal classroom setting right now ain't what we supposed to be in. That ain't for everybody, right? Some kids need that interaction, right? So they go tell you, hey, man, your child got ADD. Put them on Ritalin, stuff like that. Now your child become a zombie, right?
Yep.
Right? Now, notice that witchcraft is being mentioned with this. With all these things, right?
Yes, sir.
So even when you keep going down into 21, he say, these things shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim, right? So we think of these things as small, but we got to sit back and ask ourselves, well, if God gave us the medicine that we need through the earth, right, to nurture us, why are we putting our trust into these pharmacies, right? Why are we running to the vaccine and being afraid? Because now, see, fear and faith can't coexist. So now that I got fear, I got to go get the shot. When the Most High told me he going to protect me as long as I keep his commandments, right? These are promises, right? And he is not a man that he should lie. But now our brothers and sisters, even people in the walk in the faith, They going and contemplating taking the shots and this and that, right? And they contaminating themselves without even educating. We don't even educate ourselves on what they putting in these pills.
That's
You
right.
see what I'm saying? The dude who made this weed killer called Roundup, you go get that Roundup, you spread out through your yard, kill the weeds. But do you know that one of those weeds that you killing is the same weed that they use to crush up and make your Advil and Tylenol? You could be taking the roots from that naturally and curing yourself, right? But what is it about? Money, money, money.
That's right.
Now, I'll go with the lesson because everything is about money now. Money, money, money. Like you go to another country, them people think different. I went to Jamaica as a youth. They was about family. They didn't have no money. They was broke, but still willing to give me. Oh, you don't have nothing? Here you go. Now everything about money, money, money. Even this generation, a lot of parents will say, why you giving this to this him and him and that? You know what I'm saying? Food and stuff. But even in the generations before us, they'll say, don't you go outside unless you got enough to give to everybody else.
Right.
And that's get on you about not giving, right? But everything is about money along with the pharmacy. And then that takes us out of our mental capacity where we need to be on. So they had drug stores, right? If they was deep into the Bible, they would have known how to heal themselves, right?
Right.
Let's go to even when you go to Revelation 9:21 and 18:23, it speaks on the pharmacy, the sorcery and pharmakia as well, right? Now we're gonna look at some of the Most High Yah's healing while we're here, right? Ezekiel 47:12. Because these worlds that we creating, these people follow the ways of the heathen, right? And the other nations. They didn't follow the ways of Yah. Right. They was indoctrinated, right? They didn't even want to be who they were supposed to be, right? Same way Achan did. And when the Most High said, don't take nothing. When y'all go in this city, don't take nothing from here. And what did he take? The Babylonian garments. Because he admired that, right? And that's a deeper meaning within it because he wanted to take on the ways and the customs is what it's trying to show you, right? Ezekiel 47:12. Because if you know you ain't supposed to dress as no woman, but you get her in the system and society where everybody dressing like women, it become normal. So what's it going to hurt me, mama, to put on a mini skirt? Yah's healing. Ezekiel 47:12. Read that when you get there, brother.
And by the river, upon the bank thereof, and on this side and on that side shall grow all trees for meat.
And for all trees, for meat. Because we even take the scriptures and be like, oh, meat. See, he's talking about flesh. Right. No, meat means food. When you read it in the Hebrew, meat is just food, right? He say that it shall grow all trees for food, right? Keep reading.
Whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall it should bring forth new fruit according to his months. Right. Because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary, and the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine. Right, right. And this even have a deeper meaning in itself than just the surface level, you know, when you start dealing with the Father and everything, right? But he's showing you what you have here for healing, right? Genesis 1:29. Go ahead. And Elohim said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat.
It shall be for food, right? And this is the original dietary plan of the Most High Yah. Even when you go to the doctor, when you got diseases and cancers, they're going to tell you, and you in bad health, they're going to tell you have to put that meat away. You see what I'm saying? So he gives us ways to heal ourselves, right? We're going to read another verse. This is going to be in Ecclesiasticus chapter 38:4 in the Apocrypha. Read that for me, brother.
Yahuwah have created medicines out of the earth.
He created medicines out of the earth.
And he that is wise will not abhor them.
Right. You ain't going to hate him. You're going to learn to love and understand his medicine on what he gave us, right?
Wow.
And people might say, this is smart. What did this got to do with anything with God? Because these is what the Most High provided us with. I'm showing you ways of how they took on the other nations' thought frame and ways versus keeping the ways of the Most High, right? Now, also what they had there, they had 4 hotels, right? And it's a guy named W. Gurley, and he was an elite who set up the hotels, right? Now, Yah had it set up in his system that people will always have a place to lay their head, right? See, our people didn't just come up with places like hotels on their own. He following the ways of what he's seen going on around him from the other nations, right? Go to Genesis 18, because the Most High always going to provide a way for everybody. He's not going to have a system where everybody, we got all these rich people up here, and well, you got a few rich people up here, and then all these people at the bottom and base, broke, struggling, being oppressed, in poverty, right? So we're going to look at this. Because, again, is this wrong? Did I have a hotel? I mean, I can't knock it, but if you, and this dude was a millionaire, you need to have some also set up for the less fortunate. You see what I'm saying? Because you're supposed to be watching out for each other.
Absolutely.
Genesis 18, and we're going to read verses 1 through 8. Go ahead.
And Yahuwah appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day.
Now, this Abraham, right? Mm-hmm. So Abraham sitting in the tent of the door in the heat of the day. Keep going.
And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him.
So he saw 3 men, right? Keep going.
And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground.
Right, and these are 3 men that he do not know from a bucket of paint, right? But he ran and bowed down to him, right? Because what we're showing you is true Israelite hospitality, or should I say the hospitality of the Most High Yah, right? Keep going.
And said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant.
So he telling them, oh, please don't go, and he don't even know him, right? Keep going.
Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree.
So he gonna go fetch them some water so that they could clean up, right? And give them an opportunity to rest. Keep going.
And I will fetch a morsel of bread. And
he going to feed them, right?
Right.
Right? Because I see Yeshua bringing us shalom, which is rest. I see him giving us bread, right? Keep going.
And comfort ye your hearts.
Comfort your mind. Relax. Keep going.
After that you shall pass on.
Then you can go on.
For therefore are you come to your servant.
You have come to your servant. This man don't know these brothers, but he go out there and try to comfort them, provide good hospitality, right? And say, you're upon your servant, right?
Yes, sir.
And we supposed to be a servant unto all men, right? Keep reading.
And they said, so do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah and said, make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make it cakes upon the earth.
Right, so he got his wife preparing a meal for these strangers. Keep going.
And Abraham ran unto the herd and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them.
Right.
And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat.
So he went all out for these people, right? And he don't know them. But when you actually start getting in these history books and researching the culture of the Israelites, they thought it was a blessing for them to be able to serve they fellow brother, whether they knew him or not. So that was common for them to want to take in. And then they thought that it was rude of you to decline. You see what I'm saying? Right. They felt like, but we don't be like that these days. I know the world different, you know what I'm saying? But it was messed up back then too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we gotta learn to do for each other, right? But in these cities, these major cities that our people praise, it was still about self for the most part. You might have had your token person who's trying to look out for this brother or their sister, but for the most part, they was taking on the ways of the world instead of living by the Father's ways, right? Go to the next chapter over, 19, and we're going to read verses 1 through 3 real quick. Go ahead.
And there came 2 angels to Sodom that even. And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom.
So same thing Abraham was doing, Lot doing it. Keep going.
And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself and faced toward the ground.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Keep going.
And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house,
Please come in. Keep going.
and tarry all night,
Stay all night.
and wash your feet.
Uh-huh.
And you shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street.
Nah,
all
we
night.
good. We all right. Keep going.
And he pressed upon them greatly,
Uh-huh.
and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
Man, same thing. This was our culture. We lost a lot of that now. We done lost a lot of that, right? So at this time, they was putting up hotels. If you didn't have the money to pay, then there was no stay, right?
Right.
But we supposed to make a way, right? So also, they established banks, right? So it was usury being charged. Now, you had those who were wealthy who built houses for the low, and they charged people extra high on the loans that they used to purchase the homes, right? Sound like America today to me.
Yeah,
You go to get you a house, they hit you with all this interest rate, or you get you a car, they make it almost impossible to pay off. And by the time you paid it off, you done paid them another at least 20% of what the car's value was. You know what I'm saying? So they was charging usury and all of this real heavy. But we'll say, but hey, ain't that normal? Right? I want y'all to see how the things that we do now to get money and survive, that the Most High would deem as that ain't the way to go, but we look at it as the way to come up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go flip this house. I'm going to extra tax on it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because this has become the common way of survival these days, right?
Exactly.
It's all about money, 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 right? Let's go to Exodus 22:5. And these were the same things that those children that back in them days would have learned, right? From going up in them schools in that city. 22 and 25. When you get there, go ahead.
If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury.
All right, Leviticus 25. We seeing that we ain't supposed to be up here putting that interest on our brothers. If you're going to give it to a brother, let him give him back what he gave you. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
We're not here to try to get rich off each other's struggles, right? But this is what was happening then. Because when they established these cities, the rich men would go in, they would start building, then they would bring the poor men in, not to really help them, but to become they indentured servants. You know what I'm saying? You're going to come in and work for me so that I can rise higher, right? Leviticus 25, we're going to read 36 through 37. Go ahead.
Take thou no usury of him or increase, but fear thy Elohim,
For fear of the Most High. Because he watching. Keep going.
that thy brother may live with thee. Thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him that victuals of increase, for increase.
Right. Because now we already know our brother's struggling. How could the brother need $5? You give him $5 and be like, man, I need 10, 15 back. He's struggling to have $5, bro. Like, what kind of heart is that, right? Deuteronomy 23. And what's funny is in Tulsa, actually in Birmingham, Alabama, I take that back. In Birmingham, Alabama, the first black bank that was created by who? A pastor. Oh, you ain't gonna pay my tithes? I'm gonna get it out of interest. I'm going to get it one way or the other. All right, Deuteronomy 23, 19 through 20. Go ahead, brother.
Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother. Usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury.
Okay, we can stop right there. We don't even need the next verse. But we seeing over and over what the Most High is showing us. He keeps reiterating it. And we got to consider it being important to the Most High when he keep having it reiterated, right?
Right.
5, let me see here. Nehemiah chapter 5, and we're going to read verses 7 through 10. Because we're gonna see how the prophets had to deal with these people, right? Because they had to deal with the people just like we do. The people who was high, considered the noblemen, the leaders of their time, and we're gonna see how Nehemiah had to deal with them if he thought it was cool, right? Go ahead.
5 and what?
7 through 10.
Then I consulted with myself, and I rebuked the nobles and the rulers, and said unto them.
So he going to the top people. These would be our presidents, our governors, mayors, things like that, right?
Yeah.
And what did he say to them?
Ye exact usury, every one of his brother. And I set a great assembly against them. And I said unto them, we after our ability have redeemed our brethren, the Jews.
That's what we supposed to be doing, is redeeming each other, getting each other out of these struggles, out of these positions of oppression, right? Not continuing to keep ourselves down, right? But then we want to holler about what the white man doing, what the Arab man doing to us and all of that. But we do it unto ourselves. Because Nehemiah is going to Israelites, the Israelite leaders saying this. This ain't nothing new. This been happening. The Most High always said, love your neighbor. But we ain't never did it like that. That's why we don't got the land now. You see what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Which were sold unto the heathen. And will ye even sell your brethren?
Man, with you either, that, and our people did. We blame everything on the other nations. But when 70 AD came, and then we had to flee, and we went to West Africa, our own people was putting people on the boats. We was catching our own people to get gain, those of our Israelites who was the elite at that time, and selling their own brother. But Nehemiah saying we supposed to redeem our brothers who was in bondage, right? Keep going.
Or shall they be sold unto us? Then held they their peace and found nothing to answer.
Right. They wanted to shut up because it made them think. Keep going.
Also I said, it is not good that you do, ought you not to walk in the fear of our Elohim because of the reproach of the heathen, our enemies.
Keep going.
I likewise and my brethren and my servants might exact of them money and corn. I pray you, let us leave off this usury.
Let us leave off of this usury, right? Because we really putting out, we making slaves out of our own people. These things still happen today, right? So let's say, because we got brothers in here who own businesses. So how's we going to have a trucking business and then we want to pay a brother pennies to get out here and drive, right? We don't want to help them to get up in a position. We never put in our mind, well, let me let you drive for me. I'm still going to pay you better than what you're going to be making at these other companies. And then I'm also help you get your own truck. See, that ain't how we work these days. Now it's how can I keep him in that position to continue to work for me because he's a good driver. That's all I want. But that's what we do when we clock in them 9 to 5. That's what they do to us. Pay us just enough to pay a little bit of bills, but not really to rise up and get our own thing started. So we forced to depend and rely on this company, right? And that's the same thing because we are in a wicked world. So we go through our whole life struggling, trying to get our head above water. Man, how that good time, keeping our head above water, right? So we struggling, right? We struggling just to do that, and that mentality get in us. So when you do start to get your own businesses and stuff, you don't complain about the system so much, but you subconsciously let the system get in you, so you oppressing the next man just like that. Because you thinking like, dang, instead of making $3,000 off of him this week, I can make $5,000. You know what I'm saying? But what about that man and his household? How would you want to be done, right? Proverbs 15 and 5.
That's real.
Because these people did not establish a system that was backed by the ways of the Most High. That's why it failed. The people never really consider, why did it really fall? It's something, paraphrasing it, where the Most High said, could evil come upon a city and it not be done by me. You see what I'm saying? So if the Most High saw that was righteous, it would have never failed. Absolutely. It would have never failed, right? Because if we in his house, he don't go against. We in his house, he won't go against us because the house divided, it's going to fall. It can't stand, right? Proverbs 15 and 5, read that.
A fool despises his father's instructions, but he that regardeth reproof is prudent.
Right. So the man who's going to listen to his father's instruction is going actually despising his father's instruction he ain't gonna want to have no reproof. You know what I'm saying? So judgment has to come. 28 and 8.
Right.
Proverbs 28 and 8. Go ahead.
He that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it from him that will pity the poor.
So the Most High, we could see scripture after scripture that he's against the usury, right? Which they did. Again, the pastor started the first black church in Birmingham. You don't think he was charging interest? But you then again, you asked me again, well, Brother Nehemiah, what's wrong with starting a bank? How are we supposed to survive if we don't charge usury? I mean, I'm not saying don't do it. All I'm doing is just mentioning stuff from the Bible. You know what I'm saying? May your conscience convict you if you think it's wrong, and if not, you go open you a bank then to charge a usury. But it says the elite took care of the elite, you know, and there was biased judgment, just as it is here today. You know, like the rich bail out, the government bail out the rich every time. Right. We struggle to make a penny. They tax us. They tax to the max. You get taxed from your check that you work for. Then you go to the grocery store, and what they do, tax you. You know, everything. You try to pay your light bill, what they got on there, taxes. You try to pay your water, what they got, tax. You see what I'm saying? You'll pay all these taxes, and if you in the hood, your roads raggedy, ain't nothing getting done. The police system suck. They ain't solving nothing. You see what I'm saying? So you do all this taxing, and you're not seeing nothing from it. You see what I'm saying? But the elite bail out the elite. So the senators and all of that, the people in the government, they gonna bail out the rich companies. When the PPP loans came, who was the first ones to get the first round? The rich, the millionaires, the big cheesecake factories, stuff like that. Yeah. These are the big companies that's already millionaires, and then they getting the bailout while the small man struggling. You know what I'm saying? So the system always get bailed out. And who money is it that they using to bail them out? Ours, the low people, right? So they stepping on our shoulders to help them, right? Yep. So it was biased judgment in Tulsa as well. You had elite, right? You had the elite set up there that watched out. So the rich watched out for the rich. And then if you was a regular common person, ain't nobody had your back like that, right? And this was not only in Tulsa, but like in Durham, North Carolina, Harlem, and Birmingham, upon other cities. And all the black business districts were modeled after the beast. They modeled their system after what they seen the other people doing, right? What they say, when you in Rome, do as Rome, right? That's their mind frame that they had. So they oppressed their own brother, right? You're going to go set up a city, you make it seem good, because that's how the devil works. He make things seem good, but it's only working in his favor. Yeah, we got a new city. It go hype it up. You come in here, you facing the same stuff that you faced, you know, while you was out there. You know, and it might not be on as a great of a scale, but you still getting treated the same, right? Right. So in Tulsa, some pastors who opened the doors of the church, guess what they did? They own nightclubs. Again, Tulsa is the Black Wall Street. So the same pastors who was teaching you on Sunday was owning and running the nightclubs. And we ain't no fools. We know what happened in nightclubs. It ain't like it changed today from what it was. It was the same thing. You go in there, you get a little full of yourself, you walk out with something that you don't know, you do something that you don't need to do. It was the same thing, but who owned these things? It was the pastors, right? Right. So we got to ask ourselves, these are supposed to be men of God, but they producing environments that people don't need to be under. There ain't nothing wrong with having fun and dancing to some music, but we know the environment that came with the clubs, right? They had brothels and whorehouses in Black Wall Street. Why would you bring these things? You're bringing the same things that you've seen that was in that world into your city. So that we clearly seeing that this ain't the same government of the Most High that's being used to rule this, right? Now, the rich got rich off of the less fortunate. And the same thing that the heathens do is what they did, and some of our people still continue to do to this day. Now, just like our people did in the book of Maccabees, taking on the ways of the Greeks, right? So Alexander the Great, he died, I call him Alexander the Gay because he was loose wrist, right? So Alexander the Gay, he died. The people who was up under him, they had who ruled. They had children who had children. And in the book of Maccabees, it say that wickedness was increased on the earth, right? So because they brought all their ideology, all their ways. And our brothers, the Maccabees, in them times, some of our brothers, they went and made leagues with the Greeks. They tell you that. They went and put down the Most High Yah. They said, okay, we'll eat whatever, you know what I'm saying? Put some pork on my fork, you know what I'm saying? I won't keep the Shabbat no more. I'm going to put down all my culture so that I could take upon your ways and be approved by you, right? So it's just like our brothers today when we celebrate all these holidays and don't have no understanding of what the holy days was pointing to. You see what I'm saying? We'll go all out for 4th of July. You know what I'm saying? You'll feel like you in the Desert Storm, especially when you're in the hood. It be the firecrackers. Then you don't know if it's the firecrackers or just the guns too, because they be popping out the guns. So man, you just sleep on the floor. We're gonna sleep on the floor today just to be safe, right? Oh, Christmas. I always tell this story. I got to tell it again. When I was working at a mortgage company, people was calling in to ask me, please put my payment on hold, put it at the end of my mortgage, right? Not even thinking about, so you're going to put this payment at the end of your loan, so that means if you got another 19 years to go, it's going to accumulate all that interest on this one payment. Why? Because my son wants the new PlayStation. Yeah. What? So we go all out for that, but what would you do for your brethren? Oh, man, you ain't giving him a titi, not a dollar if he hungry. He thirsty, he in need, but you know, we've been raised to think, I got to get mine, you got to get yours, right? Same way I got mine, you go get yours, right? But that ain't the way to be, right? So our focus has become commerce and business, and there ain't nothing wrong with having money and having your business, because that's what we believe. But we believe into doing it so that we can further the kingdom building, so that we can help our brothers and sisters, not just so we can get in the Bentley. Nah, man, I'll stay in the Honda as long as I can feed 100 of my brothers and sisters and make sure a roof over their head. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, how the scripture go, if y'all know it, have your mind on the riches of heaven, because here on earth, you know, the moth and rust gonna destroy the material possessions, right? So that what you storing up for the kingdom gonna last for eternity, right? So that's the mind frame we should have. But now it's become all about money. Our music, our movies, everything is about money. Everything about the bag. Now men think that that's what validate them. I got the most money, right? The women want to chase the dudes with the most money so that they can have nice things. All along, the subtle devil himself, Hashatan, is reeling them in, because what we've got it wrong is that, see, we think that to sell our soul, we got to sign on a dotted line, but see, the devil got them blind because they can't see the truth, right? It's out through your action, your belief, what you put your values and your focus in, right? And our people have always wanted to be a part of the oppressive system, but on the upside of it. You even see in the movie Roots and stuff like that, the people on the plantation, you always had what they call the house servant, is what I'll say since we on film. You know, with the house servant, right? They go and they snitch on the slave servant. They was put over them to rule over them. They would make them whip the other slaves and all of that, right? So everybody want to be on the upside of the oppressive system, right? But not help the other people out. Now, our people allowed themselves to be indoctrinated by the false teachings of the oppressor and took on his ways to be deemed good in the eyes and be accepted. Oh, yeah, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. You know, you get rewarded for going to snitching on Harriet Tubman. Oh, man, you know, Harriet, man, she took a left by the acorn tree. Man, if you go right now, you might be able to catch up with her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, then you get rewarded. Now you can continue to turn your back against your brethren. That's the same thing that was set up with the secret societies. Also fraternities. Fraternities was established. What do they call them? The Greeks. I'm pledging Greek, Alpha, this and that. But what did our people do? And like I said in the book of Maccabees, they took league with the Greeks who was ruling. Now you taking on their customs, their ways and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So all this stuff is being established to take you away from what you're really supposed to live on. Now that I pledged with the Greeks, everybody know the fraternity brothers do what? They stick together. oh, I'm going to help you get a job just because you in my fraternity. It don't matter how wicked you is. Even though I know you raped 3 sisters that one night at that party, I'm still going to have your back because we brothers no matter what, right? So the wickedness is being set up in all different ways, right? So our people are being indoctrinated, and each generation is being indoctrinated by something different, right? Now, they established their churches under wicked authority. Now, the Methodist and Episcopal was the main churches in Black Wall Street. And when you look at all the leaders who was in Black Wall Street, guess which churches they went to? The Methodist and the Episcopal, right? So it was already secret organizations and meetings and things being put in place all at that time, right? But see, when you just walk in and you existing and not living, you ain't gonna see this. So you're going, oh, that's a good brother, sister. But all behind closed door, they making leagues with each other. They plotting on how they gonna rise, but not how to bring out the whole nation, right? Now, and those who were sold out was always respected by master, right? And still to this day, even with the vaccine, what they doing with LeBron James, they make it forcing him to go speak against the vaccine. So, and they put the pressure on you. Oh, man, we're going to take all this away from you if you don't do this. Right. So now they feel like, dang, I don't have what I'm going to do now for my family, right? So they go sell out, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the majority of the elite were the members of them 2 denominations, and it was like a fraternity, right? Now, the elite invited the freed slaves at that time who wanted to go to them cities. They invited them out, but it was to become their workers, to get rich off of them, right? To oppress them, right? Now, even in the days of slavery, you know, free slaves would establish their own plantation for financial gain, which is not talked about a lot in history. But our own people would go when they was free and they'll get some land and they would go in and slay their brother. What did our people do in Israel? When we came out of Egypt, knowing all the bondage and the bad treatment we went in through, we came out of there and did the same thing to our brethren. Yep. You see what I'm saying? That's why the Most High keep reiterating over and over and over and over through the book. Remember, you was in bondage in Egypt. So how in the world I put you in this position to be a leader and you turn around and you over here hustling and scamming your brother, charging usury to the point they was charging usury. We're going to get Nehemiah and Ezra, when they came out of Babylon, they had to go against the people. The prophets was always the ones who was doing the righteous thing. And what they have to do, buck against the system, which what people don't do to now. They don't buck against the system. They go along to get along. You see what I'm saying? Nehemiah and Ezra had to buck against the system because when they came out of Babylon, they was charging usury so much that the brothers was going broke and had to sell their land. The father designated this land for this tribe, this land for this tribe, this land for this tribe. But they were so oppressed and getting charged so much on interest and usury, they had to sell their land. So the thing that they deemed the most valuable, which was land, they had to give up, right? Mm-hmm. Now, even back then, they created what was called, a group of people came together. They called it Brown Fellowship Society. Brown Fellowship Society. And it was started by the black elites who exploited black labor in every city where blacks thrive. So the Harlems, the Birminghams, and all the big cities, they all joined together so that they could strategically go into these cities and figure out how to push mass production for this and that and make their own brethren slaves, right? And then if you didn't pass the paper bag test, you couldn't even be in there, even though you was black. So if it wasn't light bright, it wasn't right. You see what I'm saying? So now that even caused more division, even just off of skin tone. You see what I'm saying? Now, we have assisted in creating a E to get A system instead of loving our neighbors as ourselves. Let's go to Proverbs 19:4. Why, Nehemiah, you're doing a lot of talking. Throw in some scripture. But see, nobody care about the poor man. Even today, that's how you do it. Celebrities get worship, right? And then what do people say? I'm a fan of the celebrity, of you. Now, the word fan is short for fanatic. Yeah, the word fan is short for fanatic, so you're a fanatic for this person. And then what's another word that they call celebrities? Idols. Mm-hmm. American Idol. And what do? They say, oh, I idolize you since I was a little kid, right? Them become your gods. That's why you have women who call themselves, they in the beehive. They want to be just like Beyonce. You got little girls now who want to be like Megan Thee Stallion and all of these people. But actually, Megan Thee Stallion is an example of becoming a harlot, right? That's how she talk about it, is how she make money off of men because of her body, right? But these girls who listening to these music these days on the radio because this mass brainwashing, right? They want to be like this. That's why the Most High said, bring your child up in the way that they should go. You see what I'm saying? I understand your friends at school listening to this. You just gonna have to be the uncool one in their eyes, because in God and in the Most High Yah eyes, you are Yasam. You the best thing going. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna teach you how to value the person whose opinion matters the most. You see what I'm saying? Because all this gonna get you out here is to be pregnant. Because you're gonna be up here. You're gonna start dancing like them. Then you're gonna see the attention that the boys give you when you dance like the harlot. Now I'm finna be all the way open. Then you're going to be pregnant. And where's he going to be? Nowhere. Your mom and daddy going to be raising your child, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Proverbs 19:4. Go ahead. Because nobody care about the poor man.
Wealth maketh many friends.
So when you're rich, you're going to have a lot of friends. Everybody going to ride your coattail. Just off of your material possession. You could be the lamest person in the world. Right. No good personality, charisma, nothing. But just because you got money, I'm going to be his friends, right? Keep going.
Bill Gates. The poor is separated from his neighbor.
But nobody care about the poor. Get away from me. You don't have nothing. I can't benefit from you, so what's the point in being around you, right? Right. Now, the elite of these thriving cities turned their back on the black masses. They were millionaires, but they didn't redeem their brother out of poverty, as Nehemiah said that they did. They redeemed their brothers out of slavery, right? They didn't do that. They just focused on their city and get more money. That's why brothers in Texas were still in slavery, not knowing they were supposed to be free, so-called free. Now, in Corinth, where Paul was, it was a booming society, and he had to correct the mind frame of the people and bring them out of their dark ways. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 1. So he was dealing with the same thing, because Corinth was booming. It was a lot of money, you know. The economy was thriving, and he have to go and when you put your neck on the line and you speak the truth, people gonna hate you, man.
Oh yeah.
If everybody love you, something wrong. So you can't be scared to speak the truth, man, because then your brother will fall, and that blood will be on your hands, you know. And we don't want to be turned out. We don't want people turning our back on us. We care about people's opinion more than y'all's. You know, when he gave us a set of instructions and rules, we supposed to follow that, because we could potentially save lives, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 26 through 28. Go ahead, brother.
For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called.
So it's for ye see your calling, brethren, not many of the wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called, but
Elohim have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound this wise.
Keep going.
And Elohim have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
Right, so everything that this world deem high, mighty, and good, the Most High used something that they would think is base to bring it down. Keep going.
And base things of the world and the things which are despised,
which is good, righteousness, holiness, love. Keep going.
Have Elohim chosen. Yea, and things that are not to bring not things that are.
Right. So he gonna use that man who everybody look down on in order to really do his true work, right?
Right.
And most people who at the top, I mean, they ain't really going nowhere with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Now you fast forward to today's time, and you see the leaders in the churches, sports, music, Hollywood, etc., for the most part, are not banding together to stop oppression and poverty. All these millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars these brothers got, People having contracts where they getting 100, 200 million a year, and they poverty. You doing what? Oh yeah, I gave 20,000. What's 20,000 to 200 million? And then you did it just to get a tax write-off. It wasn't even genuinely from your heart.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because if you got a good heart, there's no way you could be filthy rich. All this poverty, if I won a $300 million lottery, I promise I wouldn't be rich because that money going to be getting distributed. Okay, what can we do over here to help this situation over here in this city? Help this over here. Help establish this. Help do this. That money finna run through so that I can help other brothers and sisters. You see what I'm saying? Right. Luke 18. Luke 18. But everybody be taught to think about self, especially when you done been broke. Because people will say, oh, if I get this money, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But when they get that money, they don't do none of it because now they scared. I ain't never had it. I had to get it on my own. The whole tune changed.
Right.
The whole song, they done put on a whole new record, right? Luke 18 and then 18 through 25.
And a certain ruler asked him, saying, Good master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? And Yeshua said unto him.
So he asking Hamashiach, Yeshua, how do I get eternal life, right? Eternal life. Keep going.
Why callest thou me good? None is good save one, that is Elohim.
Esteem the Father. Go.
Thou knowest thy commandments.
Mm-hmm.
Do not commit adultery. Do not kill. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, all these have I kept from my youth
Ah, Yeshua, I done did all of this, right? Keep going.
Now when Yeshua heard these things, he said unto him, Yet lackest thou one thing. Sell all that thou hast and distribute unto the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come, follow me.
Now, how many people think they could do that? Sell what you got. This take a lot of faith in the Most High, to even know that He gonna provide. But who gonna give up what they have to help the next man? Wow, same way I got it, you can get it. What they say, pull your own self up by the bootstrap, right? Keep reading.
And when he heard this, he was very sorrowful, for he was very
he was rich. He didn't want to give it up. Keep going.
And when Yeshua saw that he was very sorrowful, he said, How hardly shall they that have riches enter into the kingdom of Elohim?
Because the reason being, it's not wrong to have money, but being rich like that, the Father know you neglecting the world. You neglecting your brothers and sisters. It ain't wrong to have money. You should be live good. It even tell you in Ecclesiastes. You see what I'm saying? Enjoy your money and your thing that you work hard for. You weren't lazy. You got out here and got it. You figured out a way to get it. Enjoy it. Right. But help your brother and sister, man. Everybody love the dope man in the hood, right? Who come through with all the money, the big car. But what is he doing for the community besides destroying it? Running through the women, creating baby here, baby there, and not there for him. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm on all the way backwards, right? Keep reading. Did we hit 25?
No, 25 right now.
Go ahead.
For it is easier for a camel to go to the needle's eye.
Right.
Than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom.
And today's youth is only focused on money. These boys is out here playing hardball out here in these streets just to get money, to get that clout, to be deemed as worthy by ignorant Negroes who don't mean nothing. You see what I'm saying? But they willing to lay their life down for the dollar so that they could be looking like something, man. We don't learn to value money more than we do Elohim. You see what I'm saying? And that's a big issue. Now, imagine Yeshua speaking to the elite and the leaders now in today's time and those who thrive in that black city. But imagine him coming and telling these rich people this now. They're not trying to hear it. You know, why should I do that? Now, people, they got the I got to get mine, you got to get yours mentality, right? And did the elite in Black Wall Street or these other cities too, or even today's time, are they using they resources to help build the community, to bring other people up, or just to raise up themselves, right? We don't help the poor. We turn our backs on them, right? How many times people don't just drove past a struggling man and don't give them nothing, right? Even if you don't want to give them money, man, if you got a sandwich, go fix them a sandwich and take it to them, right? Now, we done praise men who are wicked in the eyes of the Most High. We always do. And it be the most wickedest man. They go get their award with the first thing, the wickedest man. It be a brother who a whole rap album, you know what I'm saying, is talking about Mr. Steal Your Girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take your woman. I'll let you do this. I'll do this. I'll kill you. I'll put a bullet in your head. First thing they say when they go to get an award is what? I like to thank God. What? Like, people don't understand the devil give blessings too, right? That's why you getting that award, so that you can help brainwash the other people who ain't smart and wise enough to not be entertain your non-substance having lyrics, right? See, now and then what's right is boring to people. What's clean, good fun is boring to people. You see what I'm saying? The way we need to do things, that's boring, and it's soft to the world. Oh, you just let him do you like that? Look, man, I'm going to let him make it because I enjoy my freedom, and I don't want to take no man's life because I know who's going to have the true vengeance, right? And I promise you, you let the Most High have vengeance, his vengeance is going to be worse than yours. Because that same man that you would have killed, if you leave him alone, the Most High might lock him up for life. And then you kill by the sword, you die by the sword. You know what I'm saying? I want to kill him because he killed my cousin. He killed this person. Oh, no, the Most High got his own way of handling that judgment. You just stay free, man. Think smart. Stay out of jail. Give it a while, and then judgment going to come on him, right? Now, our ancestors, they thought like Romans and Greeks in the mind, right? That's why they started fraternities, secret societies, following everything else. You know what I'm saying? Freemasonry, all that, right? So that they could join together to make each other prosperous and to keep the money in a tight circle. That's a greedy mentality to have, right? And we almost done, y'all. The tax collectors in Yeshua time, they were basically corporations who gathered taxes for those who oppressed the poor and got paid well to do so. Let's go to, how did I not write down the scripture? I done put it in here, but let me see here. Let's go to Luke 19. Finally, every time I get up here, I'll be messing up. And finally, I got them all right so far. Luke 19, and we're going to start at verse 1. Because this is important, man, to understand the mind of the tax collectors, how they went out, they took from the poor to give to the rich, you know, and they made good money doing it. Go ahead, start at 1.
And Yeshua entered and passed through Jericho. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among publicans, and he was rich.
So he was the chief, one of the main leaders, right? And he was rich. Keep going.
And he sought to see Yeshua, who he was, and could not for the press, because he was little of stature. And he ran before and climbed up even a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way.
So he wanted to see him so bad, and he was itty bitty. He was part of the itty bitty committee, right? So he had to climb up the tree just to be able to see him. But this is showing you his zeal and how bad he wanted to see Yeshua. Keep going.
Right. And when Yeshua came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said unto him, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must abide at thy house.
So he just called him out. Keep going.
And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. And when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was going to be guest with a man that is.
So they hated the publicans because, again, these are like tax collectors. They come and they take from the people to give to the whoever they under, whether it be Rome's, Greek, or whatever, right? Keep going.
And Zacchaeus stood and said unto Yahuwah, Behold, Adonai, the half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold. So
he giving back for his wrongdoing. So I only took $20, but I went and I gave $80 back to everybody I took 20 from. So he even gave more than what he took from him, right? Keep going.
And Yeshua said unto him, This day is salvation come to this house, for so much as he also is a son of Abraham.
So he said, this day salvation come to this house, right?
Yeah.
Keep going.
For the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which was lost.
Right. So he coming to heal those who sick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we seeing that just off of him, because y'all can put in y'all notes to go ahead and read through all the way down to verse 27, right? Because this is all tying in together, but for the sake of time, and since we started late, I'm going to stop right there, but put in your notes 1 through 27 and read that on your own, right? Now, the elite at this time, they hated Yeshua and his teachings, right? His teachings would destroy everything that they had if too many people started believing on him, right? Now, you got the letters of Pilate to Caesar, right? And when you read them letters of Pilate to Caesar, Pilate be writing to Caesar, and he telling you all the chaos that was happening because of Yeshua's teaching, how the people who follow Yeshua, they bucked against the system. And due to that, that was affecting their money and things like that. The ones that didn't follow Yeshua, even the so-called commandment keepers, they was celebrating all the holidays. They was participating in the Olympics and all of that, even on the holy days. So it was making them money. He talked about it. He said, we love those who don't follow the ways of the Most High because they make us so much money. Oh, but those who do, they are a headache and a pain to us, because he wanted Caesar to give him the green light just to kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, but he knew that would cause chaos, and then other people would start rebelling, right? So the people who didn't follow the ways of the Most High, they always go for the system. The system love them, just like you see in the letters of Pilate to Caesar. They love those who don't live by the Most High. But when you do, you're going to be hurting their system, right? Let's go to John 11. So I'm saying all of this is to say that these systems and these cities because they have big festival this year, a real big one in Tulsa, to celebrate the city, but not understanding the wickedness that it was built upon. Because all they doing is taking for face value what they heard somebody else say, and then they regurgitate it to somebody, then they regurgitate it to somebody, then this city is, oh, it was so beautiful. But they did not keep the ways of the Most High. So they would be deemed wicked in the Most High's eye. That's why judgment came upon them. They had no covering. We're going to start at verse 47 and go through 53. Go ahead, my brother.
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, What do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
So the chief priests and the Pharisees, these leaders of the Pharisees, they coming together to say, what can we do about Yeshua? Because people starting to believe in this cat, man, and he going to cause trouble with us and our money. Because we just like the modern day preachers, we pimping the people. We get money off of them. We using them, right? 48.
If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
Oh, because the Romans going to come take away our place in the nation, right? We got to have peace with them, right? We don't believe in the Most High. Yah. You know what I'm saying? They want to say, oh, it's only one God, but you don't even truly believe in the Father, right? Because if you did, you would have been with the program and like, bring Rome down.
Right.
Fall like Babylon did, right? 49.
And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them,
listen to what he say. Keep going.
You know nothing at all.
Oh, he telling them, y'all don't know nothing at all. And he got a powerful position among powerful men, and he got the gall and the faith in the Most High that he going to speak up on it. Y'all know nothing at all. What?
Nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, that the whole nation perish not.
Because he believed in Yeshua. Keep going.
And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yeshua should die for that nation.
So they was going against him, and he's saying, nah, he going to die for the nation. This is the Father's will. Keep going.
And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one children of Elohim that were scattered abroad.
Because remember, the northern kingdom was scattered abroad across all these lands, right? So They was hating even their own brother who was scattered, but that's because they was taking on a whole lot of the ways of the other nations. But they not even seeing that they doing the same thing, because they doing the same thing, oppressing their brother, doing all of this and that. Last verse 53.
Then from that day forth they took counsel together for to put
So
him
you
to
speak
death.
truth, they gonna want to kill you. People ain't gonna want to hear that. Your family not gonna like
Yeah.
you some parts, because of what you saying. Luke 6:24. So when you speak truth, it's gonna affect those, because the darkness hate light. Right. And all you got to do is just say, okay, if they don't want to hear it, just continue to pray for them. Don't let they ignorance make you hate them
Right.
and start being where you condemn them. You know what I'm saying? Just pray for them. If you got to fast, fast. Love thy enemy. Because at that point, they really are your enemy. Because if you're against the Most High, you're against me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on his side. Luke 6 and read 24 to 26, brother. Go ahead.
But woe unto you that are rich,
Ooh, woe to you rich people.
for ye have received your
Yeah,
consolation.
your reward right here on earth. Keep going.
Who unto you that are full, for
Woe.
ye shall hunger.
Woe unto you that are full.
Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep.
Mm-hmm.
Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets.
See, y'all, we ain't going to get talked about good by everybody. You see what I'm saying? He said, and that's powerful to me, the last part where he said, woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets,
Yep.
right? They was biased. They judged. They went along to get along so that they could be found favor. Last spot, family, Isaiah 5 and 20. And then we're going to pass around the collection plate.
Ah,
Just playing, viewers at home. Just playing.
Al Greening.
And this is what we got to do, because, see, we praise these people. We got idols now. We praise the cities. We praise this pastor. We praise that. Oh, T.D. Jakes, I had a dude I worked with, knew he was Israelite, went to Potter's house and praised. He worshiped T.D. Jakes.
Yeah,
If he wasn't a man of God, his church wouldn't be as big as it is.
right.
I say, brother, what did he do for the home? Oh, he do this, he do that. But look at your big church, bro, and look at your surrounding community around your church and the conditions of that place. You ain't doing too much. You weren't even smart enough to start right by your own neighborhood of your church and build from there, going out. Isaiah 5 and 20 hit him.
Woe unto them that call evil good
So we got to be careful when we calling evil good
and good evil,
and good evil. Keep going.
that put darkness for light and light for darkness,
Mm-hmm.
that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
So we got to be careful of these things, family, because this is something serious. You know what I'm saying? We got to really wake up. We got to stop existing and start living. And how can we live without the true wisdom of the Most High Yah and following in the path that He chose for us? So again, just to summarize the lesson, it was to show that the cities that we done learned to praise and the things that we look up to all the time ain't the best for us, but the ways of the Most High Yah is the best thing going for us. So with that being said, I hope somebody got some understanding and some type of gain of knowledge today. That's what I pray, and the Most High's will is to be done. Thank you for tuning in. Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom.